The death of dozens of young children in Gambia from acute kidney injuries linked to contaminated cough and cold syrups from India has been banned by World Health Organization. Get the details of that story in this edition of the newscast. Hello there everyone, and thanks for joining us on today's 6 p.m. prime time newscast on For You Television. I am Teke Wana at the anchor. We begin this day from Burkina Faso, where Captain Ibrahim Traoré has been appointed president of Burkina Faso after last Friday's military coup, which ousted Colonel Damiba, the second in less than 9 months. What challenges lies ahead of the 34-year-old captain? Jix Nabise tells us more in this report.
Traoré has been appointed as president of Burkina Faso after Paul Henri Damiba was removed in the West African country's second military coup in less than 9 months. The announcement of his appointment as head of state, supreme head of the armed forces, was read out from an official statement on national television by a spokesperson for the military government, Captain Kiwen Sida Farouk Azari Sogo. The Sahelian nation had plunged into political turmoil on September 30 after a group of officers decided to remove Damiba due to his inability to deal with a worsening armed uprising, dissolved the transitional government and suspended the constitution. The statement further read, Traoré would now be the guarantor of national independence, territorial integrity and continuity of the state. On Sunday, Damiba agreed to step down after army officers announced his deposition. In January, Damiba, together with armed forces, had launched a coup against President Rochma Christian Kabore and appointed himself transitional head of state. Damiba, who is currently in Togo, had vowed to make security the country's top priority. Since 2015, Burkina Faso has been battling with an escalating wave of violence attributed to rebel fighters linked to both Al-Qaeda and the ISIS armed group, claiming hundreds of lives and displacing 2 million.
Ukraine's foreign minister Kuleba is in Ivory Coast after Senegal to win the support of African countries after Russia's invasion. His visit is just 2 months after his Russian counterpart came calling. The details in this report.
It is his first call on the African soil 8 months after their country was invaded by Russia. Infrastructural, economical and many other damages the country has registered this far. To this effect, alone the country can't fully recover all that has been lost. Thus, there is the need to canvass for potential partners to help the country get back to its rails. Though 2 months after his Prussian counterpart came calling.
Particularly appreciate the proposal by the Vice President to arrange without delay contacts between sectoral ministries and agencies in Ukraine and Côte d'Ivoire to discuss specific projects that 2 of our countries can do together. We spoke about security, we spoke about agriculture, we spoke about trade and education, and we will be working on all of these issues.
Western and Ukrainian diplomats have been desperately trying to get Africa to abandon its neutral stance in favor of Kiev in its war with Moscow. In June, in an attempt to rally the continent to its side, Ukraine's President Zelensky addressed the African Union via video link. The conflict has been blamed for contributing to the rising food and fuel prices, which has greatly affected developing countries.
It's clear that here in Africa, Ivory Coast, we're going to feel that. Life has become more expensive. Petrol prices at the pumps have doubled.
In the early days of the war, African students attempting to flee accused Ukrainian officials of racism and discrimination. Videos usually circulated on the social media on how blacks were being treated in Ukraine, but today, pushed on the wall, they are begging Africa for help. What a paradox about life on earth. Tricky, the whites are, begging for help from the same people they rejected yesterday. Will they ever learn to accept blacks as humans? Only time alone shall tell.
We go over to Nigeria, where the last 23 hostages held by gunmen who carried out a major attack on a train in northwestern Nigeria at the end of March this year have regained their freedom. Nigeria, which is preparing to elect a new president on February 25, 2023, is plagued by widespread insecurity. Criminal groups are attacking villages almost daily, stealing cattle and kidnapping local officials on roads or travelers for ransom in the northwest and central parts of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari's two term of office has been widely criticized by many for his inability to curb the rampant violence of criminal, jihadist and separatist groups across the country. Let's go over to Ethiopia at this point in time, where the Ethiopian government announced on Wednesday that it had accepted an invitation from the African Union to hold peace talks with rebels in the northern region of Tigray without specifying a date and location. But should this come to reality, peace is hoped to return in the region, as you tell us, Njiks Nabi said.
Ethiopia's government has accepted an invitation by the African Union to participate in peace talks aimed at ending a 2-year conflict with rival Tigrayan forces, the Prime Minister's National Security Advisor said on Wednesday. Tigrayan forces are yet to respond to the invitation for talks this weekend in South Africa, which will be the first formal negotiation between the two sides since the outbreak of war in November 2020, to diplomatic sources revealed. According to Redwan Hussein, the National Security Advisor to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who wrote on Twitter, the Ethiopian government has accepted his invitation, which is in line with our principled position regarding the peaceful resolution of the conflict and the need to have talks without preconditions. Reports reveal that the African Union Commission Chair Musa Faki Mahamat also invited Debretsion Gabriel Michael, who leads Tigray's ruling political party, to the talks in a letter. The letter, which was dated October 1st, but Gata read as a spokesperson for Debretsion Seekers People Liberation Front, said on Tuesday he was not aware of any imminent talks. The TPLF said last month it was ready for a ceasefire and will accept an African Union-led peace process after previously raising objections to AU proposals. Olusegun Obasanjo, the African Union High Representative to the Horn of Africa, will lead the negotiations with support from Kenyan former President Uhuru Kenyatta and former South African Deputy President Mumsuvi Mlambo-Nguka, according to the AU letter. Fighting resumed on August 24 after a 5-month ceasefire between March and August, while Prime Minister Abiy's government accuses the TPLF of trying to reassert Tigrayan dominance over Ethiopia. The TPLF forces accuses Abiy of over-centralizing power and oppressing Tigrayans.
Let's get back to our lead story of tonight's edition of the English Primetime Newscast, where the World Health Organization on Wednesday issued a medical product alert asking regulators to remove made-in pharma goods from the market. This is after the death of dozens of young children in Gambia after consuming the medication. Futsu has the rest of that story for us.
According to report, the Global Health Body said it was conducting further investigation with the company and regulatory authorities in India. Laboratory analysis of sample of each of the 4 products confirmed that they contain unacceptable amounts of diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol as contaminants, the WHO said, and warned that while the contested products has so far been found in the West African nation, the same could have been distributed to the other countries. A senior health ministry official confirmed to the Hindu that the WHO on September 29 informed the Drugs Controller General of India that it was providing technical assistance and advice to the Gambia where children were suspected to have died, and a significant contributing factor was suspected to be the use of medicine which may have been contaminated with diethylene glycol or ethylene glycol. Urgent investigation in the matter had been taken up by the drug regulator with the state regulatory authorities immediately after receiving communication from the WHO based on the available information, the officials say. The official added that while all required steps would be taken in the matter as a robust national regulatory authority, WHO has been requested to share at the earliest with Central Drug Standard Control Organization the report on establishment of causal relation to that with the medical products in question, photographs of labs products, which is awaited. The drug regulator took up the matter immediately with the concerned state regulatory authority under whose jurisdiction the drug manufacturing unit is located. Further, a detailed investigation was launched to ascertain the fact details in the matter in collaboration with the state drug controller, Hayana, the official said. It is the practice that the importing country tests these products on quality parameters and satisfies itself as to the quality of the product before they are released for usage in the country. The Health Ministry official further added that as per the tentative result received by the WHO, out of the 23 sample tests for where to the content the ethylene glycol has indicated. It has also been informed by WHO that the certificate of analysis will be made available to WHO in near future and WHO will share it with India. At the same time, the exact one-to-one causal relation of death has not yet been provided by WHO, nor have the details of labs products been shared by WHO with Indian drug regulators, enabling it to confirm the identity source of the manufacturing of the product, he said.
Thank you very much, Fotso. And of course, that last report there puts a wrap to today's English Primetime Newscast on For You Television. We want to thank you all immensely for your kind attention. God willing, we shall be back here same time tomorrow. Until then, God bless Africa. Bye-bye.